Hello, Nancy Cooper here. So today we're going to talk about the difference between twin flames and mirror souls. So I get a lot of questions about this, and that's why I wanted to come on and share with you guys really the information that I have downloaded, that I have received on this topic. It has been a very interesting journey for myself personally, as someone who realized that they were a twin flame and then went through that experience. Not going to lie, pretty disappointed of what that experience entailed and how it ended, and really what was involved in that whole experience. So I kind of dug more into it. Hi, Laura. And really asked Spirit, like, what was the point of this? Like, what is this? Why was this an experience I needed to have? Why was it an experience that I agreed to have? You know, what is this whole thing? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to explain and talk about what a twin flame is and the purpose of that experience that we have in this 3D experience. And then that will be able to segue into what a mirror soul is and what that purpose is as well. So the twin flames are, people get it confused. They think it's the soul, they think it's the mirror soul. It's not. The twin flame is a karmic. They are not a reflection of the soul. That's not what they are. And I know that that's so much, hey Tara, there's so much confusion around this because this is what people believe. They believe that the twin flame is a kind of a soul's duplicate, but that's not what it is. If you think about the term flame, think about fire, and the purpose of fire helps to bring things down to its core being. Fire helps to ignite and begin change in something. Fire is a very transformative element, okay? It is not an element, though, that is a sustainable element. It is for change. It is not for a long-term experience, okay? So the twin flame aspect is really a karmic soulmate that has aligned or has agreed to align in the twin fashion of being in alignment with a specific goal, and it's a big specific goal. So let's think about the twin flame as a karmic soulmate whose specific job is to help you awaken, to help you learn and remember who you truly are, and who is to prepare you for your union with your mirror soul. That is their role. The majority of time, the twin flame is not going to be the mirror soul experience. They're not going to be that same person. That's not what they are designed for. And so much suffering is brought upon us in our twin flame experiences because we continually try to make this person be something or fulfill a role that does not belong to them. They are not this person. They are not meant to fulfill this specific role. And we continue to suffer in this experience. Hi, Raziel. Because we are constantly trying to make them be something that they aren't. We need to accept and look at the twin flame dynamic for what it is and to actually appreciate it for its part in our journey. It's that suffering that continues and comes from us constantly trying to force the twin flame union into becoming more than what it was designed to be. And it's difficult because most of the time, because the soul connection is so strong, and because there is such a strong bond that is between those two individuals, it is difficult to let that other one go, to move forward in the journey and to kind of take that next step. But that is very important. It's a very important part. Truly, even what I'm getting right now is anyone who is a twin flame that also is here to serve the role as the mirror soul, or has incarnated as that role, that's not going to happen in the same relationship, period. So it would be someone that you would meet, and then you would go through the twin flame experience, and then there would be a substantial amount of time that would go before you come back into alignment. Because what happens with the twin flame journey is it's an awakening so that we begin to remember who we truly are. And so that we can go through that dark night of the soul, so we can go through that healing process, so that we can begin to awaken and really truly experience what we are supposed to experience here in this incarnation. And that takes time. That's not going to be something where we just flip a switch. Good morning, I'm here now, we're there, we're ready to go. It doesn't work like that. It takes years to step into the aligned and truly embodied version of our highest self that can be experienced in this very low vibrational, dense experience. Okay? I feel like I'm using the same words a lot, but that's just what keeps coming through. So this is why it's important for us to kind of release that expectation off of people that we have that imprint that they are our twin flame, because trying to force them or trying to stay in a union longer than it's meant to be, that's what's going to create a lot of suffering. It's going to create a lot of resentment. It's going to create a lot of frustration. I've been there. I know. A lot of disappointment. And we need to be able to step into the space of acknowledging the purpose of that union and relationship, and understanding that, you know, that person had a very special role in our life, but we can also, you know, release them with love and grace so that we can move into that part of our life that they have helped prepare and ready us for, which is the union of the mirror soul. The mirror soul is that individual that has incarnated, that is a reflection of our own soul. This is also a very complicated experience. I'm going to go through and read the comments in a minute. It's just rolling, so I'm going with it. But this is something, it's complicated, because for a mirror soul connection, when we think about it, when our souls go through multiple lifetimes, this is where I have to backtrack and explain what Spirit showed me. It's like we have multiple experiences at one time, and what I was shown was what I've called our soul streams. So if you think about like a river, and then it separates out into streams, and, you know, into creeks and all those different bodies of water that it becomes, is still that river that's supplying that. But that's what happens with our soul. That's why multiple people could have been Nefertiti. That's why multiple people could have been William Wallace or Cleopatra. It's because at that point, the soul body, that's really all of us, that's the spirit and energy of God. This is where it's like, it gets really complicated and big. It's all one soul. It's all one experience, but it continues to branch out and grow. So when we have that big river that's coming through, and we can just take it down a notch and say, okay, that's just my own soul from a past experience. It has grown and fractured out into other soul streams that are all here to have experiences at the same time, in the same reality, in the same dimension. And there can be one specific one that in the soul planning session before I incarnated this time, that I specifically made the agreement with, or made the assignment together, that we were going to fashion ourselves in this way, to connect in this way in our physical experience. Because what happens when this happens is there is this whole new level of awakening and growth that comes from this. So imagine that you've gone through this experience as one large river and then broken up into smaller soul streams. And two of those streams said, you know, we're going to rejoin in this lifetime. So what happens from that is you're taking that energy, you're separating it, and then bringing it back together for a targeted purpose. So it becomes one bigger stream. There is so much power in this. And in order to be prepared and ready for that, you have to go through the twin flame experience. That's just part of it. Because the twin flame experience, if anybody else has experienced it, it's not the sunshine and daisies that so many people think that it is. That's not. And if that's what someone feels, I'm sorry to be the one to express to you that that wasn't a twin flame experience then. That was a soulmate, because that's not the point. A twin flame experience is that experience to help activate you, and that is not going to be easy. That's not going to be something that is relaxed and nurturing and calm. It will feel that way at certain points because there is a level of healing, there is a level of intensity there, but as a whole, the energy around a twin flame connection and dynamic is relatively chaotic. Okay, breakups off and on, back and forth, like it's not an easy thing. Those more simple relationships are going to be soulmates. Someone who's come to kind of give yourself a break, your soul a break. And a lot of people end up marrying soulmates for that reason, because it's more peaceful. Or we learn in the future that they're karmic as well, but it's a different dynamic. And if you haven't truly experienced it, it's difficult to understand what it is. But in order to be prepared for the mirror soul union, you have to experience it, because you have to kind of be broken down. It's almost like you think of a mirror getting shattered, and the fire is needed to make something new from it. When we come in contact with our mirror soul, we have to have done our healing, because they are that expression, that mirror of us back. And if there are still parts in us that we despise, that we are ashamed of, that we are not accepting of, those parts are either going to prevent the union because we're going to be repelling energetically, or if they do come in, we're not going to be able to be in union with them because we wouldn't be able to stand it, really. And that's why they do not come in until we've reached that level. They just don't. They don't come in. And if they haven't come in this lifetime, then I guess we have to try again. I don't know, honestly, that part of it. I wish I did. Because I'm aware of that process. I have not met in the physical realm my mirror soul. I'm aware of him. For those of you that are aware of the book that I wrote, Witch's Wound, that's about him. That's about the past life experience that we had together and how I still remember him. And that's the only person in this incarnation that I desire to truly be in union with. And until I have fully done the work that was inspired by my connection and relationship with my twin flame, I'm not going to be on the same vibration to attract my mirror soul into my experience. and that's just the truth of it. So it's not for the faint of heart to want to be in this journey. I'm going to go back and read some of these questions and comments. Okay. I didn't learn the hard way. I thought a twin flame was a soulmate. Yeah, Brittany, it's hard, man. We think that, and then ooh, like the union is just not meant to be a long term. Unless it's a twin flame is a friend, which can happen. It could be a sibling. A twin flame could be a child or a parent. There's going to be, and it doesn't always have to be a chaotic, but if it is a romantic relationship, it is going to be chaotic. It is. Because we're trying to make it be something that it's not meant to be. But if it's like a friend type of relationship or a sibling or something like that, those are actually much more fulfilling, because you don't have to have that chaos, in that experience, and that person is, they're so aligned with you. They are, a lot of actual twins are each other's twin flames. So if you've seen that, where they have that connection where one can almost feel the other, they're so intertwined in each other's energy. It's a very beautiful thing. And so many people think that that's going to be this like amazing experience in the physical, in like a more romantic situation. It is not. Let me see. I just want to ask, is it possible to have more than one twin flame? I am getting that that's a tough question. Cause I'm getting, I always look over here. I don't remember in NLP what that is and how I receive information, but I get it visually, in my mind. So it's kind of complicated to see it. So when we use the term possible, we are putting limits on an unlimited universe. So this is one of the big things that just came through for that. So if we believe that it's not possible, then it's not possible. But if we believe in our experience that we can have multiple of these activation relationships, then it is. So the term of whether or not it's possible is going into that fail-safe belief system that we all, I mean, like I've been there. We're like, well, is this possible? And it's like, well, the universe is unlimited. So there's only limits that we create in our projection. So no, it's not impossible to have more than one. But that's most likely not the case, because that's not why it's designed that way, if that makes any sense at all. Like, that's not really the point of it. If there are others, there are definitely karmics, but the twin flame, most of us who have experienced, we can identify. It's that person that's like, they keep circling back, and it's almost like the first time that we met them, we actually were like, ugh, like, ew. And then it took time and the reason that we're like, ew, is because it's a similar energy to the mirror soul, because they do reflect back a lot of stuff that we don't like about ourselves, or that we, don't like about humanity, is what I just got. That was something with my experience. My twin flame is pretty much the complete opposite of me. He is not driven or motivated at all. He is very timid and very, I don't know, but it's like, I'm not trying to be hateful, but to me, like, honestly, at this point in my journey, like, it's repulsive. And that's something that I also have to be aware of and observant of, where I have to look and say, okay, what parts in myself are still exhibiting that type of behavior that I'm finding to be so repulsive. Where it's like this just people pleasing and inability to be able to step into one's truth and pursue one's like destiny. Like, so I'm like, okay, there's parts of me that are struggling with this, and this is a reason why his expression of this, would you stop, is upsetting me so much. He's like, my turn, because there's parts of me that I'm still holding on to with that. So it's like, where am I still holding on to my fear of, you know, going after what I truly want? Where am I still holding on to this? What parts of me, would you stop it? What in the world? Where I am exhibiting these behaviors, they may be more passive, they may be more unconscious, they may be more subdued, but I'm still triggered. Yes, exactly. I'm still triggered by that behavior, because if I was healed in that part of myself fully, I wouldn't care. I would just look at that person and say, okay, you know, that's where they are in that journey. And I'm actually getting there, to be truthful, but there are still times, even when I was like describing, I was like, ugh, like, blech. Which, you know, that just shows me that I have more work to do, which is fine. I only desire my mirror soul. Yeah. It's like, and that's another way that you absolutely know that you're on that journey, is like, you know that there's just that one person. Like, it's, even if I were to go on like a dating site, or, you know, Bumble or Tinder or whatever, use Facebook's dating stuff, there's no point because I'm not just looking for someone to marry. I'm in, I don't want to say looking for, because we shouldn't be looking for them. I'm in the process of aligning with my mirror soul. So the only way to do that and to come into union with them is to stand in my soul's mission and to do that work. Would you stop it? You must think you're him, because you're like all about some attention and getting in the middle of this today. So it's like, that's when you know for sure that you're like, there's only one person out there that will truly satisfy me in the way that I'm looking to be satisfied. And I would rather be single my entire life than to be with anyone else at this point, because it's just not satisfactory. It's just going to be settling no matter who it is, because it's not this person. Let me see. Which could be my twin. Yeah, you feel it. It's like, you know that there is one person. All right, Lisa, let me see this. I'm not sure if I was covered already. Could a twin flame become your mirror soul? Yes, Lisa, but it's not going to be in that same relationship period. It would be, if that person was meant to be that, it would be after a long period of separation. I'm sorry, I have an itch on my ankle. Because the two of you would need time in separation to go through whatever it is you triggered as the twin flame dynamic. So it's not going to be, oh, you're my twin flame, now, you know, as a mirror soul, we're gonna like hit the road. It's not going to happen like that. There's going to be that time. What I'm getting in my mind is like at least 10 years, like a large chunk, not just like, oh, we took a year off, like a large period of time, like at least 10 years is what keeps coming up. 10 years. So it's like there has to be a significant length of separation to where the individuals can truly have their experience in their individual experience. Otherwise, they're not going to have been able to go through the full process. He's like nibbling on my fingers. This cat is so funny. He's like my cat twin flame. Or maybe he thinks he's my kitty cat mirror soul. Is that what it is, Raziel? maybe. Are there any other questions? Did I cover, like, did I explain that well enough? Any questions about this? It's a really interesting thing because I had honestly never even known about mirror souls until last year, and I didn't even know why. So again, for those of you that are aware, my new book, Mirror Soul, I had started writing that last year, and I didn't know why. That was one of the reasons in the first book that Henry refers to Annalise the way that he does, as his soul's reflection. And I'm afraid to say it because it is a Scottish term and it's like Old Gaelic. But he calls her that because it means soul's reflection. And then, you know, it turned into, the next book was Mirror Soul. And it wasn't honestly until a few months ago that it all started kind of being explained to me why, when I started getting the downloads and understanding what the mirror soul is and how that works and how that connects and all of that. It was very interesting. So I'm like, okay, so this information started all this time ago, but I didn't really understand what it was or what to do with it. So it's been interesting. Oh, Kristen, thank you. Yeah, it's done to where it can go on there for pre-sale, but I'm working with a new distributor, and I have to get them the files. So hopefully they'll get it uploaded this week. But it should be available for actual reading by the end of July. That's the goal, like July 20th or 21st, something like that. So it should be around then. Are there any other questions before I let you lovelies go? This my kitty cat is... Aw. I love that. It's scary to write a book and put it out there, especially one that's so unique, and two, that it's like a part of me, you know. It's my story, but of course fictionalized and turned into something that's more relatable. But it's scary to put it out there, so it means a lot when people have good feedback. And clearly, those that don't, it's just not for them. All right, perfect. Well, I'm going to hop off here. I can tell it's getting a little jumpy on me. And then next week, we will be doing our burn board challenge, which would be really fun. And that's a 3-day challenge. And then we have the full moon release. I think that's on the 24th. What is that, Wednesday or Thursday, I think? Which would be really good too. We'll be releasing a lot, especially off of that burn. So the timing of that's really, really nice to sneak it in there between the solstice and the full moon. So really powerful energy there for a lot of release and new beginnings. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. Namaste.